Hi, I'm Shaden Watson, CEO of Carpetright and Nora Advisory Council member. Today I'll be having a chat with Philip Reichelt of the principal at Tenant Leasing Group. How are you going, Philip?
Good, thank you, Shaden. Very well, thank you.
Good. Do you want to just give us a brief overview? Let's jump in straight away and you tell us about yourself and your organisation.
Absolutely. Phil Reichelt from Tenant Leasing Group. Thank you for having me here today. We're kind of small in a good way. We started off backing the underdog and working for small retailers and small mums and dads, and we always sort of like to help the retailer or the logistics owner have a voice at the table. We've kind of pivoted our business a little bit, and we're sort of more working with different types and larger retailers and industrial and logistics groups over the last little bit.
Okay, great. One of the things that you say, which I love, is that you're always available on your mobile, and that gives a presence to the people that you work with. So yeah, that's great. What is the story behind your current proposition?
The current proposition, we're independent property advisors, so we come in as a tenant side only. We don't represent landlords or developers, so we purely represent the tenant, and we go into bat for the tenant. So the tenant pays us like a landlord agent pays the landlord, and we negotiate on behalf of the tenant or the occupier of the property. So the proposition very much is that we are a negotiator on behalf of the business owner, and to help them to try and get the best outcome for their premises.
Okay, and I would imagine that's your message to the industry, is that
pretty much
that's what you do best.
Yeah.
Great.
That's right, yeah.
Can you give us a sense of your commercial offering?
Yeah, commercial offering, Shaden. We've got a value proposition. Most of the deals that we do are value based, so we don't like to. We have an advisory role, and it's a bit of a quasi advisory and success basis. So if we perform, then we get a fee, and then we cover our costs on the way through. But it's very value add, and we like to think that most of the deals, but most of our deals we get on average a 30% savings across compared to what most tenants do have.
Okay, that's great.
So we've been relatively fortunate in that regard. So that's kind of a reasonably good proposition to carry forward and sort of use that as a bit of a, not necessarily going into negotiations, but it's kind of what we deliver. So, yeah.
And I would imagine that's of huge benefit to a lot of customers over the past 12 months, is to have you in their corner.
Yeah, over the last 12 months and 2 years, it's probably been a little bit better than that. But I mean, it's a different circumstance, and obviously it's different things that happen as a result of that. But most definitely, yeah, no, it's been reasonably good, yeah.
Great. And who do you generally work with in Australia? Or who would you like to work with as well?
Yeah, I mean, we've been very fortunate, Shaden, so to work with the likes, and very grateful to work with the brands I'm just about to mention, but we every day I sort of pinch myself and think how lucky are we to work with these guys. But the likes of Culture Kings with Simon and Tani, Koala, the mattresses, Mitch up at Byron Bay and their executive team, Sarah and James, and Blockhouse, they're a German bouldering group that do in-house rock climbing and whatnot. So but brands that we'd like to work with, Shaden, I mean, if you're the next Hello Fresh or Adore Beauty, or someone who's heading in that direction, who's who hasn't necessarily got an in-house property team, but wants sort of someone who can come and give them a hand, and we can come and switch on and switch off on the as needs basis. Then something like that, yeah.
Okay, and would you say in the past 12 months, or in 2021, there's been a shift in the demand for certain types of property?
Yes, most definitely. We've noticed the shift. I mean, the logical shift is from going between Sydney CBD and Melbourne CBD. I mean, just into the neighbourhood centres, and then outside of that is the big shift towards e-commerce online. So, I mean, our business has pivoted to a retail industrial logistics business. Purely, people like Culture Kings, we're looking for their warehouse at the moment. They're looking for 30,000 square metre warehouse up in Brisbane. So, the demand for that type has probably been, it's gone a hell of a lot quicker than what it probably would have, because just purely everyone's buying stuff online.
Yes, okay. And how can businesses strategically integrate the physical retail locations and logistics into their business? Reimagining the physical online landscape to create more of a holistic customer experience. experience?
Yeah, look, I suppose the best example of that is the experiential retailers that are coming out at the moment, and their presence and, you know, having their stores is very much experiential and for show.
Yes.
And they certainly, they still wash their faces and they make a profit, but they're certainly off the back of that. The online customer and the e-commerce customers spending more back end through the warehouse and through the other side. So the biggest change that we're seeing is the move towards that experiential, and that's just not in fashion. It can be homewares, it can be, you know, food and beverage, to a lesser degree, because food and beverage is still going out and experiencing, but there's still products off the back of that as well. So.
Of course. Okay, and how are you helping business navigate a constantly evolving retail and e-commerce landscape?
We just try and stay close to most of our relationships we've established over the last, personally, 28 years, and for one of our exclusive partners that we do our industrial and logistics with is an industry veteran as well. So we just stay close to the opportunities as they arise.
Okay.
Especially if you're looking for a warehouse or whatnot, just looking if there's any potential churn or when the lease expiries are coming up. So we're making sure that we position our clients to get those opportunities.
And what advice would you give retail leaders in e-commerce in 2022?
Look, I don't think anyone knows what the answer is at the moment in relation to where the workforce is going, but it's staying nimble, keeping your leases cheap as they can and affordable, keeping the right locations, and making sure that they position themselves, if they don't have the internal resources, to look for an independent lease negotiator.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Great. Well, thank you, Phil. I appreciate you chatting with me today, and I look forward to see where it takes us from here.
Thank you, Shane. Lovely to meet you. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.